Of course. Oh, he's got to watch out for Mom. Oh, but we got to stretch first. Little bear, you want a snacky? Yeah? Oh, who doesn't love snackies? Sit. Okay, stay. Ah, good sitting. Okay. Good girl. Hi guys, so today happens to be Saturday night around 9 o'clock. I just finished my vlog from last week, so I'm starting a new one. That's why it's a little bit darker. But I wanted to take you through the books that I'm planning on reading this week. So first off would be the books that I had started and hadn't quite completed by the end of last week's vlog. So we have Ninth Rain, Ninth House, and then Bone Witch, and currently I am a little over 100 pages into this one, 87 in this one, and about 80 in this one. I do not normally like reading so many books at once, and the reason I am doing so is because I started Ninth House, and I'm currently a little bit bored with it, so I wanted to take a break from it, pick up something else, and I did end up enjoying both of these. This one so far I'm enjoying the most, Ninth Rain. I'll link my previous vlog if you want to hear more about these ones, and I will let you know what I think of them when I finish them. Some of the other ones that I'm wanting to get to after that would be Wicked Fox and Underground Railroad. This one I'm hoping I'm gonna fly through because it just sounds really fun. It also doesn't sound like it's necessarily going to be a really epic, complex fantasy read. And then Underground Railroad is not one that I want to read really quick or anything necessarily, but this is one that because of the subject matter, I'm definitely gonna want to really soak it in, but it is on the shorter side. It's not particularly long. These will probably be toward the end of the week. Tomorrow will be Sunday, and I have a lovely day planned. I haven't seen my mom. I'm going to visit her in the morning, and she's gonna give me a little bit of a trim because I cut my own hair, if you didn't know, and it's not exactly even in certain places, so I'm gonna have her straighten it up for me. My husband's a little scared. He did try to help me in the back, but he's too scared to touch it again, so my mom's going to give me a hair trim tomorrow morning. I have to run a couple errands, and then I'm gonna visit my friend Joshana. We're gonna go to one of our local used bookstores, masked up, of course, and I have some books I'm gonna take in and hopefully get some store credit. I'm at my mom's house. For those of you that have been with me for a long time, you know that being at my mom's house means seeing Leo, the sweetest little boy, and by little I mean a giant old bull mastiff who looks like a potbelly pig. Hi! Oh, hello, pets! Pets, can you sit? Can you sit, Leo? You're an old boy now. Sit! Oh, laying down, that works too. Oh, I know what that was. You want another belly rub. Yes! Oh, yay! You have assumed the position. Good job, Leo. Let's do that tail. Look at the tail. Belly rubs!
The pressure and quick releasing the pressure and stuff like that, but and the cords inside.
Oh, here he comes. Handsome boy. Oh, you're so big, Leo. Hey guys, so today is Tuesday, and for having a week where I really need to be on top of my reading, I basically didn't get hardly any reading done on Monday. I listened to some of the audiobook for Ninth House, and then I read 50 more pages of Ninth Reign. The good thing is I am starting to be more interested in Ninth House. I feel like things are starting to happen. And then in this one, I'm continuing to enjoy it. It follows this fantasy world, obviously, and there's a certain group of people known as Eborans who used to be immortal, and they fed off of this tree's sap, but then something happened to cause this tree to die, and now they are losing their immortality. The only way they can keep it is if they feed on human blood, except for doing that has resulted in this horrendous illness called the Crimson Flux, and it makes them die really slow, agonizing deaths. And they can usually get by if they drink human blood here and there, which is what one of our characters does. This character ends up becoming the bodyguard to a human woman, and the human woman is awesome, and she's compassionate, but also just a go-getter. She's so cool. She's one of my... I think she has potential to be one of my new favorite characters because she's just no nonsense and nice at the same time. And so now I'm really excited. I feel like the book is really going to pick up from here, even though I've been liking it the whole time. And I have quite a few tabs, all positive things. One thing I wanted to highlight, which is so stupid because it's not really a big deal, but it's just something that's a personal thing for me. Whenever in fantasy books you get descriptions about things, I don't mind descriptions, but generally I want them to serve a purpose. I want them to relate to the character somehow, or to be absolutely necessary. And sometimes I think fantasy books, some people like when the author takes the time to describe everything, and I'm not one of those people, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I like it done in a certain way, and I think that this author is doing it in a way I like, and I wanted to highlight this particular part. It has to do with what the character is wearing. And it says they were talking about their gloves. It says they were fine calfskin leather, soft and flexible, and they annoyed her. And I love that little bit that they annoyed her because it ties it back to the character. And as a character-driven reader, I love when authors bring back whatever they're describing to the character. Does the character like their surroundings? Do they like what they're wearing? Is it uncomfortable? Is it necessary? I just like when they put that in, because not only are you describing the clothes in this particular scene, but you're also describing the character a little bit. And I just love those little kinds of details. Anyway, I'm going to try to finish this one up today and then get as much reading done as possible. And I'll keep you updated on what I'm thinking of everything as the vlog continues. Hello friends, it is Sunday now. I finished Ninth Reign. I've done an entire book review for it, and I talked about it in a wrap-up, so I'll have both those linked down below, but just a heads up, I'm sorry, I'm doing laundry, and I'm cleaning my sheets, so sorry, this is not the most aesthetically pleasing. But anyway, I ended up really enjoying this. I thought it was so unique. I loved the characters. I thought they were so fun, and I thought the book was a really interesting combination of a lot of different subgenres of fantasy and sci-fi. Ultimately, though, I would highly recommend, if you are looking for a unique, fun, interesting adult fantasy read, I would for sure pick this one up. I'm a loser. I read and finished Wicked Fox before finishing Bone Witch and Ninth House, and I'm so sorry about that. But Bone Witch and Ninth House, well, I'm not hating them necessarily or anything like that. It's just they feel slower. And we had a streak of bad luck this week. So our car door randomly decided it didn't want to close anymore. So we were like, what is happening? And we checked videos on YouTube to be like, why is my car door not closing? And it was always having to do with this little latch. And that latch was fine. And then apparently our car, it actually had a recall a few years ago for this exact problem. So we're like, great. So my husband had to like tape the door shut so that the lights wouldn't stay on and the battery would die, sort of a thing. So we had to go down and get a rental car. I also had some family stuff come up this week. So there's just been a lot of things that unfortunately have kind of taken up more time than I would like. That's life, right? So anyway, I had finished this and I wanted to get back into Ninth House and Bone Witch, but I was like, I just want to make sure I don't fall into a reading slump. Because I read this one slow, because it was so unique and interesting, that I wanted to take my time with it and make sure I really understood what was going on. But then I wanted something that was a little more on the fun side, and Bone Witch and Ninth House don't really scream fun. So I decided to pick up Wicked Fox, and turns out this was, while it definitely gripped me right away, And it had elements to it that were fun, elements to it that were super precious and cute. It also was surprisingly deep at times, and the setup is that we have this girl. It's Korean mythology inspired. It takes place in our own world, and she is a fox person. She's half fox person, half human, and she has to feed off of the energy of men in order to stay alive. And if she doesn't, after 100 days, she will die. So she kind of has to do this, but she's conflicted because she doesn't really want to hurt anyone. And then she ends up saving this boy. So right at the beginning of the book, he knows what she is, and she's like, don't ever tell anybody about this ever, because people don't know that this is actually, these people are real. And then she goes to school, and she's now the new student at his school, and he's like, oh, shoot, it's you. And so that all happens right away, right at the beginning of the book. So fun introduction, but it dived into some topics I was not expecting. I thought this was just going to be a fun old time. But the male perspective, you get a lot of kind of reflecting on people that struggle with abandonment, and I was not expecting that. It kind of hints at it, not hints at it, but it kind of tells you early on some of his family issues, and then that definitely is kind of fleshed out as the story progresses, and I was really impressed with how that was dealt with. And I also think that this character has some of her own family issues. I liked the friendship dynamics in this book. I actually thought the two main characters, their relationship, I thought it was precious. It was so cute to me, and there was times I was smiling. I do think that the middle chunk, because there's like a part that feels kind of like it's the height of the book, the climax of the book, and it's sort of right in the middle of the book, and then from there you're like, I don't know where this is going. But I was fine with it. I didn't mind. But I do feel like some of the angst in the story dragged out a little bit in the second half. I would have really, I think, liked this a lot more if it wasn't for the epilogue. So I don't know what it is with books with the name Wicked, but this happened when I read The Wicked Deep. I was like, all right, that was like a pretty solid read, and then I got to the epilogue and I was like, what is this? No. So Wicked Fox, the book I think wrapped up so nicely. I thought the ending was really great. And then the epilogue was like, dun dun dun, just kidding. It's not wrapped up at all. And I know there's a companion sequel to this one, and I just don't know that I'm that interested in the companion sequel. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm weirdly like torn because I appreciated so much the time that the author took to explore. It honestly felt more like a contemporary book with some fantasy stuff mixed in rather than a fantasy book in our world. But I really liked the time the author took to dive into some of these heavier topics. I liked the relationship between the characters, and I thought the Korean mythology was awesome, but that epilogue, and then also I thought some parts of it dragged a little bit in the second half, but overall, really enjoyed it. I'm just trying to decide if I can pretend that the epilogue didn't happen. I am so sorry that I don't have updates on the other two, on Ninth House and on Bone Witch. I did not start Underground Railroad, but I am planning on jumping back into those. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic start to your week. Hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you guys later.